All right, week 6 college football breakdown here. The Battle of the Independents. Got the Mormons versus the Catholics in Las Vegas, Nevada, of all places. BYU versus Notre Dame. This line really jumps out to me, both side and total. Notre Dame's a 3.5-point favorite in this spot and a total at 51. I played the under and I played BYU plus a 3.5. Both are 1-unit plays. I thought both of those, I thought the total was too high. I would have made it around 48. And I think this should be much closer to a pick 'em type of game. Sometimes when odds makers put out a 3.5, they're trying to get people to do this. They very well may have gotten me here, but I've had a good feel of these two teams all year. This is the wrong line. I'm sorry. And maybe it's because Notre Dame did start to improve offensively in their last game against North Carolina. If you know anything about North Carolina's defense, that's not saying much. North Carolina has a bottom 20 defense in college football. That's just not really going to translate into this matchup. I mean, Cal was able to hold that offense at bay. Marshall was able to hold that offense at bay. I really don't see why BYU wouldn't be able to do the same thing. I understand that they're not exactly lethal up front, but I do think they can stop the run pretty well. They've proven as well that they're going to limit those explosive plays through the air. This Notre Dame team, and I've said this for a long time, they just don't have very much talent offensively. They don't have a lot of talent at that running back position. So I do worry about them being able to establish a real ground game in this one. Outside of their tight end, Michael Mayer, I don't think they're very good at wide receiver. And did we just forget that they're on their backup quarterback now? I mean, I know Drew Pine has actually held up pretty well, all things considered. It's still not an ideal situation for all of those reasons. I mean, to expect Notre Dame to be able to pull away in this game is a bit silly to me. The one advantage they do have, and it's going to keep Notre Dame in a lot of games they play this year, even amidst not having as much talent, they're good in the trenches, really on both sides of the ball. Offensive line has been solid, but it's really that defensive line. They can really get pressure on opposing quarterbacks. This is a tough matchup for them, though, too. BYU's got a good offensive line. BYU's got the clear quarterback advantage in this game. I mean, Jaron Hall has been right around 8.5 yards per attempt each of these past 2 seasons. He's got way more playmakers at his disposal than Drew Pine does over at Notre Dame. I'm going to concede the fact that I understand, that the BYU is probably not going to wow anybody with their running game in this one. And it's a big reason why I'm on the under as well. I think both of these teams can, make the opposing offense one-dimensional. And I think, as much as I talk down on Notre Dame's skill position players, they are good in the trenches, and it's just going to lead to a lot more lower-scoring games, more ugly football. I don't think BYU is going to have any problem with that. They're a slower-paced team. They're no stranger to playing these ugly, lower-scoring games. So seeing the total at 51, I would have made it at 48, like I said. You're crossing that key number of 49. I'll take the under in this one for sure. And this very well could play out much more lower scoring than even the total would indicate. One more point on the side. I know it's a neutral site game. It's still an easier spot for BYU. You're going from Utah to Nevada, whereas Notre Dame, who, by the way, is still led by an unproven first-year head coach, has to go cross-country to Las Vegas. BYU actually has played here before. They opened the season last year in Allegiant Stadium against Arizona. There are certain dynamics, I would imagine, that playing in Las Vegas present. I'll take the team of 28-year-old guys that has already gone through this before than, a team that's led by an unproven first-year head coach. That's not a big part of the handicap. Ultimately, I know Notre Dame's got a pretty good defense, and I know they're good in the trenches. You can only be so good in the trenches to make up for some of your other shortcomings. It's not like you're going up against a team that's bad in the trenches either. I think BYU will hold up, and I think eventually they'll outlast Notre Dame over the 60-minute game, but in a lower-scoring fashion. So, I've locked in 5 plays here for this week 6 slate, and 2 of them come in the same game. BYU plus the 3.5 and the under here in this neutral site game in Las Vegas. Both 1-unit plays for me. All right, guys, before we get out of here, I know you see the shirt right here, going with the Miami Vice theme today. If you're looking for some new golf apparel, head over to proud90.com. Unique but very comfortable polos. It's colder weather coming. They've also got hoodies and quarter zips as well. Proud 90's got all your golf apparel needs, so browse their selection. If you see anything you like at checkout, use code Fordham. It's going to get you 15% off your order. That's code Fordham at proud90.com is going to get you 15% off your order. Support me, support Proud 90. The rest of the information will be in the description below.